right. Good morning, Brouhaha. Day number 2, the 6th annual Brouhaha. We are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, getting ready for the arch rival Roller Girls versus Steel City Roller Derby. I am Hammer Abby, and I'm here with...
It appears that way. I appear to be Reverend Norm. I didn't know I was going to get my picture on TV today.
Well, you are, and you look fabulous for bright and early
well,
on a Saturday morning.
I didn't mean to endorse a supermarket that is not paid for endorsements, but whatever, Hammer Abby, whatever. I'm just pleased as punch to be here.
As am I. So we're going to do a quick job of running down what the rosters for these teams are today, because that's about how awake I am. And then we can talk a little bit more about what to expect.
Let's do that.
It's the number 14 ranked arch rival Roller Girls. We've got 00P5 is Party Foul, 1057 is She-Ra Powers, 1138 is Chewbacca, 1900 is Cloak and Drag Her, 299 is Shimmy Hoffa, 33 is Jamheiser Bush, 4 is Mayor Francis Slayer, 400 is Brickyard, 48 is Brick Tater, 500 is K Grant, 530 is Reinhardt, 68 is Swanson, 8100 is K Sieber, and M2 is Mighty Mighty Boston. You want to take Steel City for us?
Well, somebody's got to, I tell you, from the great state of Pennsylvania, but from the Wisconsin side of the mountains, it is the Steel City Roller Derby, Steel Hurton. We've got number 10, that's Ada Bloodlace. We've got number 25, that's Ellie McKill. Number 3 is Red Rumbler. Number 30, with an asterisk, is Tina Frey. 32, that's 2 to the 5th power, that's Rock Hard Candy. Number 4, that's Tootsie Roller, not to be confused with the skater of the Fox Cities Foxes of the same name, but spelled differently. Number 45 is BB Basher. Number 5, Hurricane Heather. Number 511, Socrates. Number 6 is Snot Rocket Science, not to be confused with just plain old Snot Rocket. Number 814 is Leanne Grohl. 82, Bone Crusher. 909, as opposed to the one after 909. That's Poppin' Fresh. Number 94 is the Kraken. D34D, that's Nick Rofiliak. And number 0, that's Dakota Slamming.
Very nicely done, Norb.
I do what I can.
You sound way more awake than I am.
It's the atomizer of Pepsi Max that gets me going.
Well done. So we are about 20 seconds out from the start of this game. And we want to say a special thank you to Hinckley Design and Production, who are running the stream for us this weekend, which is free, that you are watching right now. Hinckley Design and Production is a longtime supporter of Roller Derby since about 2008, providing live video production services and bringing you the live broadcast of Brouhaha. You can support free streaming Derby with your DVD purchase at hinkleyproductions.com/Brouhaha, and let's take it away.
All right, on the... By golly, I'm going to get this right, on the notorious RED Jammer line, that is number 814. In the yellow of the Steel City Roller Derby is Steel Hurton, that shall be Leanne Grohl. And in the black of the arch rival Roller Girls All-Stars, that looks like number 400, that should be Brickyard.
That is correct. It's going to be fun with Brickyard and Brick Tater, recently transferred to arch rival from Bay Area. We now have a jammer duo of brick-related names.
Arch rival look like they picked up a number. They've accumulated numbers, like a big glob of rubber cement. They've got like a Harmony Killer Brews.
Yep, came from Minnesota.
Obviously would not be adopting a Minnesota Twins / Washington Senators ball player name if she was not, a resident of the area. But never mind. Never mind that. Never mind the airy persiflage. We're here for roller derby. Hammer Abby, can you explain to me what the heck's been going on with arch rival? Like, why are they just stomping and throttling opponents? Like, what is it? Just the influx of talent? I mean, they've gone berserk.
They have. They really thoroughly beat Ohio yesterday here at Brouhaha, which was a big win for them. I think it's they've been coming up. Like, it's been happening for a while, but then they got sort of a good critical mass of some new talent and things like that. But I think the program has been working towards this for some time now. It's impressive.
All right, we are off and things are underway. Brickyard tries to take the inside. Brickyard nudged to the outside. Brickyard around to the outside, and she's out and through. And Brickyard appears to be your lead jammer, arch rival Roller Girls.
There's two packs moving very, very quickly right now, pretty spread out, which is interesting to see early in the game.
Brickyard coming up. She has passed one member of the Steel City Roller Girls. Past two, I beg your pardon. Fingers don't lie. 2-0 is our score early on in the first jam.
So that's first blood to arch rival very early in this game. A very, very fast-moving pack. Just give you a clue in, if you are tuning into the first time to the stream here, you may be hearing some phantom whistles in the background. The two tracks at Brouhaha are very close together, separated only by a very large curtain. So it is common to hear whistles from the other track, but just keep an eye on the action that you're seeing on your screen, and you'll get a good sense of what whistles are ours.
And speaking of ours, on our notorious RED Jammer line, and now off it, I believe that's number 48. That is Brick Tater for arch rival, and she is going up against, was that number 32, Rock Hard Candy in the yellow of Steel City?
That is correct, and that's going to be Rock Hard Candy trying to work her way up the outside there through that pack of arch rival. One of the arch rival blockers being called on a penalty. She will head to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
And we have first lead jammer of the early morning for Steel City. That is number 32. That is Rock Hard Candy. She is your lead jammer.
Fun fact, I have the actual score. The arch rival versus Ohio game yesterday was 367 to 41.
It's kind of a nail biter, he said with some sarcasm. So 3 points for Steel City. They are going to be 3-2. We are seeing both teams right now playing things pretty tight to the vest right now. They're getting what they can and calling it off.
Kind of feeling each other out at this point in the morning. Not to make a terrible, that came out wrong, but testing each other out, seeing how the teams play each other. Steel City also played yesterday. They played against Santa Cruz, lost that one 155 to 222.
Santa Cruz, a team I'm interested in seeing later in the day, but on and off the notorious RED Jammerland, that's number 68 for the arch rival Roller Girls in the black. That is Swanson. And for Steel City, did you get the number of that train?
That is going to be number 6, Not Rocket Science, jamming for Steel City. Getting a big hit on the inside line there from Reinhardt, but able to pop back up very, very quickly, run around the outside line, and she's going to pick up lead jammer status for Steel City.
I'm not sure how she did that. I saw everything gunked up at turn 2 and suddenly is shooting out like a veritable snot rocket of science. It was, in fact, snot rocket science. A little bit of a parade of arch rival Roller Girls now to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. But 4 points scored by Steel City. Going to be 7-2 right now. Touchdown versus a safety. 27 minutes to go in the first period.
So Steel City turned things around pretty quickly there, now with a small lead at 7-2. 27 minutes left in this first half of the game on the Derby Laces track number 2 here at Brouhaha in fabulous Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And back on the notorious RED Jammerland for the first time this morning. That's number 814. That's Leanne Grohl in the yellow of the Steel City. She's going against number M2. That is Mighty Mighty Boston for the black of arch rival. And Mighty Mighty Boston, as soon as I can say it, she is your lead jammer, and she is a good half rotation in front of her opposite number of the Steel City Roller Girls. Steel City Roller Derby.
There you go.
And a nice jammer hit there by the Steel City defender. No points for Steel City.
We've got it looks like I'm going to eat my words, never mind. Oh, yes, no, it is a track cut on Arch's jammer.
Well, that did not work out as planned for Arch Rival. It's going to be it's going to be 7-5 right now. Arch Rival cut the lead to 2 in a tightly contested game thus far, 3 points scored. But it is going to be a power jam right off the map for Rock Hard Candy, number 32 in the yellow of the Steel City Roller Girls.
Given yesterday's game scores, I had very little idea of what to expect from this game, but so far, very, very evenly matched teams.
If you would have asked me...
helmet
cover's gone off. That it's going to be a back block indicated on some malefactor or another, and it's going to be lead jammer for Rock Hard Candy, who reestablishes her jammer head covering properly.
Just tried to push her upper body through that tight seam and managed to pull off the cover for her trouble.
And gets through. That ought to be, let's count the fingers, that is a grand slam, says Stabby McDoodbro, the jammer referee. That is 5 points for Steel City. Steel City now a 12-5 lead, and more points forthcoming, one might imagine. That is not only that, it is a Rydell Skates grand slam, and that's the best kind.
Absolutely.
Whistles are blowing, but those aren't our whistles, ladies and gentlemen. Mighty Mighty Boston now out and through. She's on her scoring pass. Points still being scored, so a little bit of time to work with for Rock Hard Candy, but that time has elapsed. 2 more points scored for Steel City. They're going to bulge that lead out to 18. Now, like Alice Cooper said, still 5 points for Arch Rival. 13-point lead for Steel City. Didn't see that coming.
That was a nice big hit at the very end of that jam. Thought maybe that there was a penalty in there. Was going to ask the refs about it, but...
Not me. I trust them implicitly. 18-5 is our score. 24.5 minutes in the first period. And we have got back on the notorious RED Jammer line and now off of it. That's number 400. That's Brickyard for Arch Rival. Arch Rival in the black going up against
Hurricane Heather.
Hurricane Heather.
I'd know that hair anywhere.
She's a stalwart jammer for that team for quite some time, but lead jammer is going to go to Arch Rival courtesy of Brickyard.
Hurricane Heather still trying to make her way through the pack as the Arch Rival jammers are able to recycle up in front of her, reform that nice, tight, rotating wall of Well, 3 and then 4.
And that's going to be a Rydell Skates grand slam for Brickyard and the Arch Rival Roller Girls. Arch Rival now, Arch Rival in double digits. Looking to cut this lead to 3 if possible. People tripping over all manner of arms, limbs, and things of this nature. Hurricane Heather out and about. She's on her scoring pass, but there's a second Rydell Skates grand slam for Brickyard. It's going to be 18-15. Lead cut to 3.
Hurricane Heather almost losing her jammer cover there on that pass as well. I don't know what it is about Steel today, having a hard time keeping the covers on their helmets.
Well, luckily nobody is sponsoring the jammer covers because they're obviously of inferior construction.
So that is going to be Leanne Grohl taking the jammer star for Steel City.
And that looks like the Bricktator on the Rydell Skates. I beg your pardon, on the Notorious RED jammer line for
there we go.
That other team.
We have so many great sponsors this weekend. It's hard to keep track.
We do. We just can't stop effusing about them. And lead jammer is going to go to Arch Rival, courtesy of the Bricktator. Bricktator can take the lead. Should she make a particularly successful scoring pass here? Oh, my goodness. Spins around the 2 remaining defenders. Gets through, calls it off. That's going to be a lead change. Going to be 19-18, just like the year they ended World War I in favor of Arch Rival.
Nice historical reference. That was an important year. Bricktator, of course, as we mentioned before, is a recent transfer from Bay Area. Not a bad pickup for Arch Rival.
No, that didn't suck.
No.
And on the Notorious RED jammer line, that's going to be number 32 once again in the yellow for Steel City. That is Rock Hard Candy. She is going up against number 68. That is Swanson in the black and the pink. Yes, Arch Rival Roller Girls won World War I.
We are off to the races here. Rock Hard Candy looking for that outside line. She's got 1 to beat on Arch Rival up near the front as Swanson's still trying to make her way through the back of Steel City's blockers. And it is going to be lead jammer status for Steel City on this as Swanson gets held up by these 2 jammers in the back. Recycled back, forced to come back around. 1 to beat, and it's not rocket science, and she is around and away.
And Nick Rofiliak taking a seat in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box as fingers are held for Steel City. That is 3 points there. Going to be another lead change. 21 for Steel City and 19 for Arch Rival.
I feel like you should be able to play a game of cards or something at least when you're sitting in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Well, Steel City does have 21.
Oh, nicely noticed. So that's going to be Snot Rocket Science, number 6 on the line for Steel City wearing the yellow.
And it's going to be Mighty Mighty Boston wearing number M2 for the Arch Rival Roller Girls All-Stars.
So it's a 3-on-3 at the moment as each team has 1 player in that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Lots of sideways agitation. Lead jammer is way in the back. Well, lead jammer is actually behind the Notorious RED jammer line, and it belongs to Arch Rival. Jammer in the lead belonged to Steel City. Everything gobbed up at turn 2 now. Everybody moving in unison right now and out in the inside. And I don't know how the heck she did that, but lead jammer and out and about. That's Mighty Mighty Boston. How did she emerge from that pack?
Just found an inside line open for her. Just kept looking for it, kept pushing, kept jumping back and forth, and made it work.
Wow, sizes up all 3 Steel City defenders before her. Gets through 4 points. Nicely done there.
Nice juke kind of to the outside. Just cut through the kind of at an angle. Right through all those 3 blockers who weren't super tight together at that point, was able to take advantage of the speed of the pack and how spread out they were and bounce through pretty quickly, grab those points.
Yeah, it's going to be another lead change, 23-21. We have ourselves a humdinger in the early stages of Saturday morning. 20 minutes and change to go in the first period, returning to the Notorious RED jammer line. That is going to be number 400. That is Brickyard in the black of the Arch Rival Roller Girls. She is going up against number 814. That is Leanne Grohl for Steel City in the yellow.
Both jammers trying to push through the pack here, but it is going to be Arch Rival out in front with lead jammer status, but not by much.
We'll see how they play this one. Brickyard being harangued and harassed. Let's see if she can get a little separation on Leanne Grohl before the whatever hits the whatever.
Both packs moving very, very quickly now, recognizing that trying to hold their points away from the jammers as they are so close together. Smart transition move by both teams is to kind of speed it up and
yep. Brickyard gets 1, calls it off. That's about all you can hope for there. It's a 24-21 3-point lead, and we have ourselves a timeout. I think we have a timeout. No, we don't have a timeout.
Nope, Phantom Missiles for the other track.
I beg your pardon.
Just got to keep an eye on those referees if they're not doing anything.
Well, they never do anything anyway, the referees.
Oh, no.
I didn't go there.
I'm telling you.
And on and off the Notorious RD Jammer line. It's going to be multiples of 16. It's going to be number 32 Rock Hard Candy for Steel City in the yellow, and it's going to be number 48 for the Bricktator in Arch Rival. But it's going to be number 32. That's 2 to the 5th power. That's Rock Hard Candy. She's your lead jammer, but again, not by much.
Bricktator really leaning into her to try to take lead there. Wasn't able to do it, but was able to kind of, and knocks her out to the outside. A little jammer on jammer action.
That is going to cause an early end to the festivities. Obviously, a defensive call off there by Rock Hard Candy as she was destabilized.
We like to say a 0-0 jam is still a victory.
I like to say it's like Dick Dastardly and Muttley's number on the side of their car in the wacky races. But
I will take your word for it.
I'm weird. I eat paint chips. Returning to the Notorious RED Jammer line for Steel City. They are now trailing by 3, as they have been for the last jam. That is number 5. That's Hurricane Heather. By her hair, ye shall know her. She is going up against in the black, number 68, or that is Swanson of Arch Rival. Swanson takes the outside. Hurricane Heather gobbled up on the inside, tries the middle, tries the outside. Arch Rival in place, everybody in place, and emerging out and about, and your lead jammer for Arch Rival, that is Swanson.
Interesting to see Arch Rival with just 3 blockers on the track, right away dedicating 1 blocker to playing offense for their jammer, leaving just 2 to hold the other team's jammer up front. Worked for a minute, but now they've also they've shed another blocker to the penalty box. Steel City having some serious penalty trouble now as the box getting rather full. The Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box getting rather full.
I tell you, there's as little occupancy, and that my announcing cohort is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam for the Arch Rival Roller Girls. As I was trying to work in, Hurricane Heather, by the way, is now out and about. She's on her scoring pass. 4 more points scored. That's going to be a big one for Arch Rival. Arch Rival trying to put a little breathing room between Steel City. 33-21 now is their score. 17-17 our time of day in the first period.
This is very clearly to Arch realizing that this is going to be a very back and forth game. So we're going to have to do these really tight call-offs, be very, very careful about how they play. The score going back and forth so much. If they want to open up that lead, it's smart to just do 1 or 2 scoring passes, call it off as quickly as possible, keep the other team from scoring. We do have a timeout.
That's
called,
Steel City's.
Yep, by the yellow team. So I will take a minute here because we have so many wonderful sponsors, and I would like to give them a shout out real quick. We've got Potawatomi Hotel and Casino sponsoring our penalty box, so we get to mention them a lot this weekend. You can play, stay, and get lucky at Milwaukee's #1 entertainment destination. They have table games, dining, shows. There's a hotel. It's all here, only at Potawatomi. Play all day, stay all night at Milwaukee's #1 entertainment destination and luxury hotel.
I wanted to go see Ace Frehley there, but it was sold out.
Oh, you win some, you lose some.
Indeed.
We've also got the Orthopedic Institute of Wisconsin. Dr. Eric Peifel of the Orthopedic Institute of Wisconsin and MOSH wishes you a safe brouhaha weekend. They're all here for your injuries on and off the track. You can contact them at theorthoinstitute.com.
And it looks like the teams are somewhat ready to go. We've got referees skating into position. I believe whatever consternation has occurred has now elapsed. So I will tell you that on the Notorious RED Jammer line, that's number 814. That's Leanne Grohl in the yellow of Steel City. She is paired up with number M2. That's Mighty Mighty Boston of the Arch Rival Roller Girls All-Stars in the black and the pink.
Both teams kind of rolling forward to the pivot line there. We're going to have a nice old-school jammer start here with a running start at the packs with just 1 blocker on the track. Hurricane Heather tries to stop Arch's jammer, but gets hit to the inside, goes down, and Arch Rival going to pick up lead jammer status.
Yeah, Steel City's not doing themselves any favor with that parade to the Potawatomi Bingo and Casino penalty box. However, Leanne Grohl is out and about on her scoring pass. Points already being scored. Mighty Mighty Boston, she steps out of bounds, flirts with a track cut, doesn't get it. Very well done. 3 points for Arch Rival by the skin of her teeth.
And Steel City jammer tried to push through at the end there. Big burst of speed. Wasn't able to pick up any points before the whistles blew.
36-21 is our score. That's 6 squared versus 3 times 7. 15-point lead right now for Arch Rival. Arch Rival will be sending to the Notorious RED penalty box. That looks like number 400, Brickyard in the black of Arch Rival. And she's going to be going up against number 32. That is Rock Hard Candy in the yellow of Steel City.
And that's going to be, yep. So Brickyard through with lead jammer status. Not too hard, just kind of blows through that pack. Picks it up for Arch Rival.
Arch Rival kind of gives up the inside line, about half a rotation in there, and that allows Rock Hard Candy to emerge. We'll see how many points the Arch Rival can score before the encroaching Rock Hard Candy forces a call-off.
Oh, some big hits in that very, very fast pack.
Well, what do you know about that? That's 3 points stolen by Steel City. Arch Rival kind of gambling and losing there. Arch Rival scores 2. Steel City sneak out 3, so that is a net gain of 1 for Steel City.
which she could have done. She passed one of the Steel City blockers very far in the back before she went.
It's going to be 4 points for Steel City. We got a finger correction. What do you know about that?
I don't know much about that.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm
not a referee.
That's a pretty good 90 seconds of work for the Steel City Jammer. I'll tell you what, 38-25.
So that's not rocket science taking lead jam for Steel City on this. Pass Bricktator out there for Arch Rival, still getting held up by that pack, but now breaking free.
And half a rotation separates the two jammers. It's not rocket science, just breezes through, glides through, gets 4 points. She gets a bunch of phantom points due to the players in the Potawatomi Bingo and Casino penalty box. That is going to chop a nice little hunk off there for unanswered points. 38-29 is our score. Lead down to single digits for Arch Rival.
Just about 14.5 minutes left to go in the first half of play here on the Derby Laces track number 2 at Brouhaha.
This is the track that parties the hardest. Derby Laces track 2.
Track 2.
Yep. I know it. And on the notorious RD Jammer line, that's number 814 in the yellow. That is Leanne Grohl. She is paired up with number 68. That is Swanson in the black. But no sooner can I say it than Leanne Grohl emerges from the pack. Lead jammer, Steel City. Steel City making a nice little resurgence here.
Yeah, a couple of lead jammer statuses in a row here, and some, even when they didn't have it, pulling out more points than the other team. Leanne Grohl just sort of tiptoeing up that inside line to get lead jammer status and pushes her way through the inside again. While Arch's jammer still trying to get out of the pack here. Takes a bit of a tumble on the inside line, giving Steel a chance to recycle a couple of blockers up in front of her.
Not only that, but Steel City picks up a Rydell Skates Grand Slam and was flirting with another until the jammer for Arch Rival emerged from the pack. Going to see how many additional points picked up. 3 more points picked up. That's going to put it to 38-36. 2-point game. That's a single-point game. Holy Schneikes.
A good save, Norb. So, fun fact, no lead jammer streak for either team lasting longer than 3 in a row so far in this game. So very, very back and forth, and that reflects in the score that we've been seeing, just kind of going back and forth in terms of who's in lead and how much by. And this is an incredibly close game. First thing here in the morning at Brouhaha. That's going to be Hurricane Heather with the star for Steel City up against Mighty Mighty Boston, who tiptoes, turns her hips on the outside line, comes running through to grab lead jammer status for Arch Rival, continuing this this trend of no trend in lead jammer status.
No trend. Never mind, I'm trying to make reference to the band No Trend, but it's going to be a 5-point. That is going to be a Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Mighty Mighty Boston, and Arch Rival needed that. The lead was actually cut to 1 point while we were talking about how wonderful our sponsors were instead of 2 points. That's another Grand Slam. Suddenly, Arch Rival are laying the hurt on Steel City. 10-point unanswered jam thus far for Arch Rival. Arch Rival's defense really clamping down. Hurricane Heather trying to clear out some space, but she can't because they don't have a jammer on the track as far as I can tell. I'm looking for a starred helmet covering on Steel City, and I don't see one anywhere.
I suspect Hurricane Heather has it in her hands at the moment.
Luckily, we have intrepid eyes on this situation. It's another Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 15 unanswered points right now.
This is a huge jam for Mighty Mighty Boston. Nice chance to open up the point differential here for Arch Rival. Something they're going to need. And we do have a successful helmet pass.
Yeah.
But just too late. The whistle's calling it off. So
successful enough to force a call off, but not after. Not before there's a. Was that a 25-point unanswered jam? 24? 24 unanswered points for Arch Rival. So whatever bleeding that star pass stanched, it was too little too late. They were trying a Band-Aid when they needed a tourniquet, I tell you. 62-37 is our score. That shall be a 25-point lead. You know that's 5 squared.
I didn't know that, but now I do. That's going to be Snot Rocket Science wearing the jammer cover for Steel City, but it is Arch Rival out in front with lead jammer status with is Brickyard.
That is Brickyard, I tell
Thank you.
Arch Rival in the black, Steel City in the yellow, or gold, no matter how they slice it. And Brickyard's going to get through. She's going to call it off. Arch Rival starting to go to work now. 4 unanswered points.
11 minutes left in the first half of this game, and yes, this is kind of the first time we've seen a substantial opening of the point differential between these two teams. Arch Rival taking that big last jam, and now they've got a little bit of cushion. Going to try to do some surgical work here.
I mean, given the way Arch Rival has played this year, I think once you give I think it's very dangerous for Steel City to give them any manner of leeway, and my goodness. The Arch Rival juggernaut. It could be unleashed right here. On and off the notorious RD Jammer line for Steel City. Looking to get back in this one. That's number 814. That's Leanne Grohl. And lead jammer, however, goes to arch rival once again. That is courtesy of number 48. That is the Bricktator. Bricktator's a symbol. Inside line, yielded to Bricktator. Going to spin around, get her hips around, get all 4 points. Nicely done again by arch rival. 70-37 now. Arch rival feeling it.
Fancy footwork there by Bricktator to get through that, and nice work by the arch rival pack, holding back one of the Steel City players, holding that point, holding that goat, making it much easier for Bricktator to come through and grab a couple points, call it off very quickly.
Rapidly moving first period. We're under 10 minutes now, but it's 70-37. That is a 33-point lead for arch rival on the notorious REG jammer line for arch rival. That's number 68. That's Swanson in the black. That is number 68. Snot Rocket Science
number
in the
6.
yellow.
You're giving her an extra.
What did I give her?
Extra.
We got a skating out of bounds. That, oh my goodness, it is going to be for Steel City. It's going to be a Sakatumi Power Jam because of a skating out of bounds kind of thing.
This will be a nice opportunity for Steel City to try to close that point gap. It's not rocket science, a very effective jammer, and if she can get some help from her friends here. But she's coming up against a full complement of blockers for arch rival. And there we go. We're going to get a little bit of help from her friends here, trying to play some offense, try to get her through. But so far, arch rival doing a really good job of shutting down this Sakatumi Power Jam opportunity for Steel City.
You can color the Sakatumi Power Jam opportunity already shut down. Arch rival's jammer back on the track. So that's either a testimony to the effectiveness of arch rival's defense or the ineffectiveness of having your jammer take on 4 blockers at once. However, that is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam for a Snot Rocket Science. 5 points for Steel City.
Well, these days with the game where it is now, oh, huge hit to the inside there on Snot Rocket Science, takes a dive. That
is a well-placed pelvis, courtesy of Kay Sieber, number 8100 of
well-placed pelvis. This is a heck of a compliment in roller derby. But where the
That's
sport is now
anywhere.
in terms of the strategy, it is absolutely the case now where even some of the best jammers in the world, I watched Bonnie Thunders jamming for Gotham yesterday against Minnesota, just absolutely getting shut down by their defense, and it takes offense to get them through. Even those really wonderful jammers, you need help from your friends now because we've just got these super tight defensive formations that just rotate constantly. We like to call them the amoeba of death.
The amoeba of death. I'm going to write that down.
Very hard to get through. No matter how good you are. So offense becoming a very important part of this game again.
I heard that's how you score points. 2 dozen-point lead for arch rival. Steel City cutting into that. Do we have any important things we have to say on camera?
We have so many important things to say. We've got Sakatumi, so they're sponsoring our Power Jam, so we're going to mention them a few times. Sakatumi sells fun, funky socks. Socks with tacos, cupcakes, ninjas, mustaches, unicorns, and other things magical. With over 200 different sock designs, there is something for every personality, from punk rock to peacock, and everything in between. Where would you land in that, do you think?
I did not realize that the two were separate.
I was going to say my punk rock's pretty peacock. So there you go.
I can't go anywhere with that without getting weird. On the notorious RED jammer line, whatever that stripe of tape is called, that's going to be looks like we have a false start. Well, whatever. It's going to be a lead jammer. Is going to go to arch rival. That is Mighty Mighty Boston. And she's wearing the black of arch rival. Number 5 is Hurricane Heather. I believe she's the jammer of record for Steel City. You can correct me if I'm incorrect.
You are correct, and she's the one who picked up the full star penalty and failed to yield, so did get sent to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. This is one of those tricks with all those whistles coming from next door. It does become very confusing if you don't watch closely the hands of the officials on the track for which whistles are yours.
It's kind of it just underscores the importance of jazz hands in today's sport.
Jazz hands have never stopped being important.
Man, speaking of important, knifing her way a solo through the Steel City defense, getting muscled to the outside by number 45, BB Basher, but out and through with another Rydell Skates Grand Slam. That is Mighty Mighty Boston of arch rival.
So now almost double the points of Steel City arch rival, opening up their lead a little bit more, but Hurricane Heather back on the track now for Steel City. Going to try to, she's able to get through pretty quickly there.
Hurricane Heather, a veteran jammer. I mean, she certainly knows the tricks of the trade. You can't stop her. You can only hope to contain her.
Absolutely.
However that works.
Mighty Mighty Boston was sort of hit to the outside there, looking to see whether she needed to call it off or not. Came back in, thought about it a little bit more, and brought things to a close after picking up 3 more points, keeping Steel City scoreless on that jam.
All right, 83-46 is our score. 7 minutes in the first period. Returning to the notorious RED jammer line for arch rival, enjoying a lead of approximately 37 points. That is number 400, that is Brickyard, going up against in the yellow of Steel City.